Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Meat Poppin', gonna bring you guys another gangster story. And this one is really gangster, right? You got this important person, like in a weird political position, Mr. Thompson, and it started with a traffic stop. Okay, yeah.
Why such a hurry?
I don't think I took off like a bat out of here. I just drove off.
Okay. You got your proof of insurance with you?
I do. It's in my phone.
All right.
I'm actually the current state representative in this district right here, man. If that makes me different.
With a Wisconsin license?
Yeah, with a Wisconsin license. I'm State Representative John Thompson.
Okay. I'll be right back.
All right.
Now remember, he said Wisconsin, right? He said that.
Hey, sorry I took a little long, but so there's your license and my card. You're suspended in Minnesota?
No.
That's what the computer says. If it's wrong, you have to deal with the BBS.
Thank you.
So
Why'd you
there's a
pull me
number-
over again, man?
No front plate, and then the way you took off from
Man, I
the
just
light
took off
back
from
there.
I'm too old to run from the police, man. You profiled me because you looked me dead in the face and I got a ticket for driving while black. You pulled me over because you saw a black face in this car, brother, and there's no way in hell I'm taking off with you behind me. You looked at me in this car, you looked in this car and busted U-turn and got behind my car. And that's the reason why you... I know, but what I'm saying is what you're doing is wrong to black men. And you need to stop that. Thank you so much, but this ticket means nothing to me. No. I'm gonna always have a great day. What I'm saying is you will stop racially profiling black men in their cars, sir. Stop doing that. Yes, you were, bro. You saw a black man driving in this car. It don't make no difference. You pull me over because you're profiling.
Anyway, let me know, is that window tinted? Because if you're driving a car, kind of tinted, if you're driving a car with no license plate and it seems that you were at a traffic light stop and you speeded up a little, wouldn't it be like common sense for any police in the world to just be like, hey dude, how are you doing? I mean, it doesn't make any sense, right? And the only reason they released this because he was a gangster about it. Look at this.
Black tickets here in this state. Matter of fact, in St. Paul.
Representative John Thompson's an outspoken critic of police. He's been on the radar since making inflammatory comments at a protest at Lieutenant Bob Kroll's neighborhood in Hugo last summer. Last week, Thompson said he was ticketed in downtown St. Paul for driving without a front plate, a stop he called racial profiling.
Yo, I'm a Minnesota state representative. I'm a lawmaker here. I can wear what I want to wear. I shouldn't have to be profiled. Yo, this is ridiculous.
Chief Todd Axtell took to Facebook to demand an apology and called on Thompson to release the body camera footage. The St. Paul Federation asked for that as well.
So the question we have is, why hasn't he made the request to have the body camera footage released, especially for somebody that has been a champion at the Capitol? That's been his signature issue, or one of them anyways.
Thompson's accusation also brought to light that he presented a valid Wisconsin driver's license at that traffic stop, and the address he gave police was in a part of St. Paul outside of District 67A, which he represents.
When you have a state representative, an elected official in Minnesota from St. Paul, presenting a Wisconsin driver's license, a valid Wisconsin driver's license that I am told was renewed in November of 2020, which would have been the same month that he was elected.
Like most people who decide to run for the legislature, John Thompson came over here to the Secretary of State's office and filled out the official paperwork. That was last May. He did check a box, though, making his address private, but the people at the Secretary of State's office tell us the address he gave in this affidavit was an address inside the district that he was later elected to represent.
So think about the whole situation. He has a driver's license of Wisconsin. Minnesota is expired, but you're supposed to be living in Minnesota. Then why do you have the driver's license of Wisconsin? I mean, you're supposed to get the one where you're living, right? So it's kind of weird. People just were like, hey man, you need to kind of clarify this whole stuff, right? And they actually tried to find out, hey, you know what? Let's try to find out why the Minnesota was canceled. Well, it seems he didn't pay child support, you know? And I'm like, okay, you need to kind of fix up your paperwork in the end. You are responsible for that. And I'm just surprised. So people thought, you know what, let's just investigate more and let's see if we can find more stuff about the whole situation, right? Because the main problem is you can't represent a district if you're not even living there. I think you should be able to be very transparent. But no, on the document you feel no, it's a private thing. But the whole place is gonna say, well, no, he filled it right. I won't trust you in any society in these days. Everybody is freaking biased. You can see you have CRT in schools. You might have CRT in government buildings. They're gonna be like, oh, you unfortunate thing. We're just going to help you. I'm like, no wonder. This would have never happened if he didn't try to make it a racial thing. It wasn't. They put the body cam out. Now everybody found out there seems to be discrepancies in the story. So they're like, hey, this isn't like a good movie anymore.
But we're still getting driving while black tickets here in this state. Matter of fact, in St. Paul. Yo, I'm a Minnesota state representative. I'm a lawmaker here. I can wear what I want to wear. I shouldn't have to be profiled. Yo, this is ridiculous.
One thing I learned on my island, if you have a big mouth and you scream a lot and say especially things like, I am not corrupt, I'm doing the right thing, for just entertainment purposes, everybody is going to check your whole history, right? People have time, especially during COVID. Oh, I don't have a job, I can look you up. And guess what? They found horrible things. I'm like, people, think about it. If you get hired by any company, they're gonna check your Facebook picture. So it seems at first they didn't want to take it as seriously, but when all these weird things were coming out, they were like, whoa, dude, what's wrong with you?
Calls for a state lawmaker to resign are not only loud tonight, they're also bipartisan. But Representative John Thompson's lawyer told WCCO today he does not plan to step down. David Schuman joining us here to explain how this all came about.
Yeah, well, Susan Elizabeth, we've confirmed today that Thompson has a history of alleged domestic violence. Reading through police reports that date back as far as the early 2000s, some of the things he's accused of display a disturbing pattern. DFL State Representative John Thompson appears to be standing alone among his colleagues. His party's chairman has called on him to resign immediately, as have Governor Tim Walz and Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan. All three reference allegations against Thompson of violence against women. To all of these allegations, Thompson's attorney told me they are false and re-emphasized Thompson hasn't been found guilty on any domestic violence charges. He also said Thompson doesn't plan to resign.
So now let's go exactly at what is happening. Now, remember, I'm not saying that he did it. I'm not saying that it's not unfair. But if you have like 1, 2, 3, 4 cases about domestic abuse, in such a weird way that a cop had to be called to your location, registered with 911 calls, the domestic violence case is traced back to 2003 in Superior, Wisconsin, when Thompson was arrested after he was allegedly struck by his girlfriend in the face with an open and a closed fist. The woman's 5-year-old daughter witnessed the assault, which happened in a supermarket parking lot. Woo! Thompson's girlfriend said she and her child were homeless and declined to cooperate. Of course. Do you know how horrible it is that you're like, yo, police, I am right, arrest him, but now I don't have a place to stay? That's a power position, right? That's a power position. Anyway, the Superior police said that Thompson fled the scene, wow, and resisted arrest when he was found a short time later. Thompson eventually pleaded guilty in Douglas, reduced charges. Okay, Thompson allegedly attacked the same girlfriend nearly a year later. Woman, what are you doing with the same man? Is that the gangster syndrome? Police arrived after a 911 hang-up call. She said during the argument with Thompson, he broke the phone cord and put both her hands around her neck and began choking her. During the struggle, Thompson allegedly said, I'll choke you until you can't breathe anymore. Woo! She said she ran off to the apartment screaming, but Thompson grabbed her and dragged her back into the apartment, horror movie style. She said she even tried to escape through a window. Oh man, this is looking so bad. Well, remember, it might not be the truth, but if somebody has more than one case about anything, I don't know, man. She told police Thompson became angry when she dialed 911 for another phone and began hitting her. From another phone. So he hit the phone. Began hitting her in the hand, punching her in the face, and grabbed her and threw her on the kitchen table, which broke. Nice. She said 3 children, her daughter, and Thompson's 2 sons witnessed most of the assault. You have to be a special person if you can beat a person in front of your kids. The girlfriend, while you're still with him, recounted to the police that during an argument at the pool of the apartment complex the day before, Thompson allegedly belittled her daughter, calling her a series of expletives that culminated with you and your daughter, and I hope you die. The woman said that she and her daughter have recently moved to Egan. Oh, okay, good. And she didn't know anyone and she didn't have any money. Yeah, no wonder you were still with him. Egan police took her and her daughter to a domestic abuse shelter, finally. The case was referred to child protection, which I assume the police can find to prove if it's true or not. And the Dakota County Attorney reviews the possible charges. Okay. In 2009, so the St. Police officer responded to a call of domestic violence involving Thompson and two women. Oh, so now he's creating porn movies. Thompson and the woman were fighting about the cell phone he received from another girl. Okay, it is unclear for the report if it is a girlfriend from the previous case. No, she might be still in contact? Okay, I hope not. During the 2009 incident, according to the report, the yelling escalated. He pulled out his penis in front of the girlfriend and the two young children and said, "I'm the man, you can all my pee-pee." Thompson denied ever expose himself. Me against you, word against word. Nobody's gonna find out what's happening. The police responded to another domestic assault involving a different woman in 2010. The victim said that she's been with Thompson for 11 years and they have two children together. What? So the first case was 2003. This is 2010. In 11 years, 2000 didn't even start. This guy is funky everywhere. He's living the good life. During the argument, Thompson allegedly removed his penis from his pants and told her to kiss the tip. Later, she told police Thompson grabbed her around the neck with both hands and told her, "I'll choke you until your voice box stops." According to the police reports, the Ramsey Court attorney declined to charge the case due to several issues: delayed 911 call, poor witness info, and victim stated that she was fired up and doesn't remember who attacked first. Okay, so what did we learn from this whole situation? Well, first of all, shut up. If I have like weird cases in my past that I might have been beating women or whatever, if these charges have been created that he says, yeah, that they're out for me, the police doesn't like me because I'm like a Black Lives Matter guy and everything, I'm like, dude, you're supposed to be somebody that's positive and you represent people and you're BLM. You can't have like gangster stuff that you're not paying child support, but now they say he's paid them all. You have this driver license issue, but they're not clear. And you have this past with a bunch of women that you say, I don't beat anybody. And I'm like, it's kind of weird. You're attracting so much attention that if I was in any business with you, I would tell you shut up. And even if it's not true, even your friends in the same party, it's like, well, no, this has to be freaking investigated. Some people don't know when to shut up. They believe they're just so privileged. Do bad things happen to black people? Yeah, I do believe that. Is it fair? No, it's not fair. But I do know the way you represent yourself is always so important. When you say stupid stuff, you start thinking about it. When you start thinking about these things, your actions start reflecting what you're thinking, and then it becomes normal. So when you should start acting like a reasonable person, the stupid thing you keep spouting, you start acting in that way. Subconscious or unsubconscious, in the long run, you're gonna have this weird situation. And if you're a person, with all due respect to everybody that had to defend themselves against a gangster woman, if you beat a woman up, as they're suggesting, in front of a kid, for me, you have to be investigated. That doesn't make any sense. Unless she comes with a knife and you drop kick her, okay, cool, I would accept that. There's a bigger chance I might just push her in a funny way and run away because I want to avoid that situation totally. But then again, it was his house and she didn't have any home, and that's a horrible position, bruh. It's weird when I see these important BLM people that everybody vouches for, and then you check their past and they have this gangster past and we're supposed to ignore them. I know there's so many white looking or right leaning people, if they had any of these charges, he would have been hanged. You guys know that he would have been hanged a long time ago. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about the situation. Is it fair? Am I missing something? Am I being honest? But hey, that's life, right? I have never beaten a woman. So, well, unless we're making babies. But hey, no, jokes all aside, life is good, man. I don't beat my wife. That gangster. We make love.
Don't get me wrong, makosa kita bong. Buta fire na mi blonde, kush hash, purple skunk, criollo, colombici, jam, turlo, verde, welcome.